Welcome to his house, where we gon' run our mouth, while sipping purty, yeah, that's on me. So apparently it done went down, literally, my purties. Britney got knocked the freak out. No, I'm just playing. Somebody smacked the glasses off her face. I didn't even know she wore glasses, and apparently they fell on the motherfucking floor. Oh, they probably was shades, y'all. It's probably shades. But wasn't it nighttime? I'm not sure. But to be honest, some people have mixed feelings about this, but I definitely have my opinion, and we're here to talk about it, baby. For one, I didn't even know Britney Spears came out the house. Literally, is anybody else shocked, or am I the only mother freaking one who's shocked? I thought she literally stayed at the house all day, made cringy videos, and twirl around all freaking day showing off her stomach parts. The last time I talked about Britney Spears, I think she didn't like me, and she went on some rampant rampage, but I'm speaking the truth. Britney has not been the same since after she left her issue, and I was the first person to say free Britney, free Britney, free Britney. But now I'm like, lock her up if that's the way she's gonna act. You know, honestly, I want her to be free. Don't get me wrong, I'm just joking a little bit, but at the same time, I understand why she was put under conservatorship, acting and seeing the way she maneuvers herself in certain situations. And I'll say I'm motherfucking concerned. So I was hoping that she was staying in the house. I was hoping that she would continue to work on herself before she got out. But I actually had unfollowed her a while back after she went on this rampage that I thought may have been directed towards people like me. Because she was saying F off and go sit on a, and I'm about to go. She was saying a lot of stuff, baby. I can't even really get into it because it was really beyond me. But at the end of the day, I still was hoping that she would continue to get better, continue to work on herself. And I really hated to see her like that. But this Britney is not the Britney that we see 2023 Britney. And let's be freaking for real. Now, and it's so much true that the basketball player who allegedly security guard attacked her, he didn't even realize it was Britney Spears. Because who doesn't love a Britney Spears? Let's be freaking for real. But the Britney Spears that we're getting today is not the Britney Spears of the past. Let's be freaking for real. So I don't put it past him for not knowing who she was. Okay. And who's to say she wasn't trying to catch a case? Who's to say? Because apparently, according to a TMZ interview, that she was talking in a British accent. Now, does he speak British? I don't think so. So why are you talking in a British accent? Weirdo. Like, who does that? Like, be freaking for real. I didn't even know that Britney knew British. Like, who knew that? So the last thing you hear, that's like somebody talking in a Scotland accent, and who would have thought that I'm Scotland or the Obama Scotland or Britney Scotland? So if you're talking in an accent that's foreign to the U.S., and then when you get pimped, slapped, you want to holler out, "This is America," then talk American. God dang it! Like, how was he really supposed to know that you were not an American citizen because you were talking in a British accent the whole time, according to the eyewitness who said you got. And they had to check up on you, and you had wore a hat outside after it was over with. So don't get me wrong. I don't think that any woman should be assaulted. But I'm not going to cap. There's been some times that I've been on, when I was following Britney post-conservator, that I wanted to slap some sense into her. I'm going to be real. I'm just going to be real. But luckily, nobody had up until this point. Now, whether it slapped some in her or not, I'm not sure. Because I really have not followed her on social media. And I'm so glad to know that she was out the house. But looking at the photos and the way she was dressed, it gives me as if she's still back to her old shenanigans. And then the fact that she's speaking British, it might be World War III at this point, because who does that? When did she learn freaking British? At what point did she have the time to learn British? To be honest, I really feel like Britney's definitely not herself, and she may be inhabited with unselfness, and it scares me. Now, for her to speak British doesn't surprise me too much, but when did she learn? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Now, okay, enough of the jokes. Let's put that aside for just a quick moment and speak about what supposedly had went down. Now, allegedly she was slapped, but before that, people are forgetting the fact that she touched the man first. Now, sure enough, you may be like, well, she's a celebrity, she can touch us, but still, people need their space. And if you're gonna get mad at a security guard for pushing her hand away when she clearly touched the guy first, then be mad at her for touching him. Because first of all, she's talking in a British accent. For one, he's walking forward. They said she consistently talks in British as she's approaching these men that apparently she doesn't know and don't know her, and she proceeds to touch them and their eyes are not even on her. To me, that's what a security guard is supposed to do, because apparently this crazy woman is reaching forward to assault his person he's protecting, because it only takes one touch and you're gone, baby. It takes one touch to do some damage. And we didn't know what was her motive. We didn't know who she was. They did not recognize her, because in 2023 she has been unrecognizable in a lot of situations. And the fact that she even stepped out the house, I'm excited, because I didn't think she would go to a basketball game. Because if you don't know, she has a husband that she's very much enthralled in, who she wants to who really does it for her. And the fact that she's trying to touch and run after another man doesn't surprise me, because I don't really think he feels her like she feels him as far as her husband, but I'm not there. But it seems like she really wants his attention a lot of the time, and the fact that she's been able to get him and marry him, it's surprising, but it's not surprising, because she apparently still got a little bag. And then on top of that, she's Britney Spears, but at the same time, stay on business trips and be away from her, and still get the bag, and do what you want on the side. It makes sense, but at the same time, it's like, why are you chasing after a man in the middle of a street? And why do you feel the need to touch him if he proceeds to walk? Because I know for me, there's been times where I'm trying to avoid somebody and I'm going to act like I don't hear you. That's just common sense. But I'm definitely going to act like I don't hear you if you're talking in an accent that I do not recognize. What? And the fact that the onlooker who was watching and observing the whole thing, the fact that he knew that it was a British accent, is beyond me. I guess because British kind of do talk English, but it's just thick. So I guess he would know. So how far there? Oh, Bob, how are you, Arthur? I would think it was a crazy person. So I don't think that he should be held reliable, because Britney's been acting different these days, and I'm concerned. And I'm not in her presence. But if I was in her presence, baby, don't touch me. Don't look at me. I want to look at you. I want to say, oh, that's Britney Spears, but from a distance, because it definitely gives me scary vibes when I've watched her do that same twirl about 10 million times and I see her stomach size curves or none thereof. And I'm like, is this all we're going to see on this goddamn IG page? Be freaking for real. But also she posts news on there and other things that I wish she wouldn't post. And she even says she can't really post some things because they want to take her page down. But shoot, take it down at this point. If that's all you're going to post, take it the freak down. So at the end of the day, if you haven't seen the side of Britney on social media, that's as close to her as we can get. I would say he was warranted for his justification of how he was acting. And the fact she was talking in a non-English accent and she started yelling at him and say, "We're in America," after talking in a British accent. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is what I'm screaming. And apparently some people may need to enter her. I don't know. But I hate it for her. I know she's still recovering. But baby, if you're not there, you're not there. Leave people alone. Because people will knock you to freak out. I know you haven't probably been exposed to a lot of people. And you're excited to be back out here in these streets. But a lot has changed, baby. And you just can't be touching people. You can't be grabbing people. You can't be screaming at people that don't know you. Running up to people that don't know you with security guard. And you definitely don't need to be talking in unknown dialect that they don't understand. And then get mad when they don't understand you. Because for me, if I don't know a person, I'd be like, I would have one of my team or somebody. Britney Spears want to take the picture with your man, or Britney Spears this and that. But under no circumstance is it okay to reach out and touch a person who is clearly proceeding to walk and ignore you. Under no situation is that okay. So if anything, I would say she assaulted him first. A touch is a form of assault. You're touching somebody. You could have endangered them at some point. They didn't ask you to touch me. If anything, she can press charges too. So hopefully she will just move on her way and move over. And who's to say that she wasn't harassing him before that, or wasn't in his DMs, or wasn't sending him messages, or this and that? Who was to say? It wouldn't surprise me, opposed to her rants on social media with all this very sexual innuendos. He may even know what her whole body looks like at this point, because she posts so many nudes. So if a person is like that, but you still want to have respect for them at the same time, you're going to act like you don't see them. Respectfully decline any advances that they're giving you. And if everybody else heard how you were talking, and they heard your accent, and they were just looking, apparently he heard her too, and he just wasn't interested. He just wanted to be away from you. He just wanted to get away. And it's not okay to touch a person who is obviously ignoring you. Under no circumstance is that okay. And being violated. So if everybody else around you heard your yelling at him, he obviously heard it, but just didn't care. And he didn't even know who you were. So just move on and don't ever do that in the future. Get your life together. Focus on you before worrying about these dudes or hanging out with these dudes. And like, focus on you and drop a bag on you. Do a song about on you, and stop worrying about these other people. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to really wish bad on Britney, because at the end of the day, she was one of those people I did love, respect, and I still do. But I do know that change can happen in people's lives from different circumstances. And I don't feel like the same Britney is right here in front of us, the what we saw on the stage. And that's a problem. And I feel like that's something that needs to be addressed and also talked about. And just be freaking for real. Don't sugarcoat nothing.
Well, keep serving tea, and that's on me. All is allegedly, that's per tea. They say that we're purty, you like when you do dirty. It's so thirsty, sipping that purty. Per tea, it's so freaky dirty. Body getting bigger, like stick figures.